All right, welcome back to Recommended Daily Value. Today we are joined by both Kathleen Stewart and former Transform participant Kelly Arendec. How are you doing, Kelly and Kathleen?
Good. Thank you,
Doing
Kelly.
great.
And Kelly's former and current. So she's joining
Yes.
us again for this round too.
Correct.
Yeah. So we just wanted to get Kelly on and basically discuss how her first round went, how things are going, in round two, all of that stuff. So just to kind of set the stage, so before Transform even started, do you want to share with us any of the struggles you were facing before the program? Anything that you were potentially looking to address during the program? Did you have any thoughts of before you joined the program, or you were like, you know what, this looks like a cool opportunity. Let's just
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
what led you to Transform and signing up?
I think I was just searching for the next thing because I tried everything else. Keto, um, vegetarianism, veganism, like throughout the years. And I was deep into perimenopause years and struggling with the extra weight and the hormones and all of that. So somehow I discovered Ash and Sarah and started following them and learning about the more pro metabolic, way of eating. Um, and just, I know myself and I know I need accountability. And so when I saw this program come up, I thought, okay, here's where I'll get the education and the accountability. And maybe this will be the thing. So that's why I signed up. I thought, hey, I'll get both education and accountability, and that's what I need to have success. So
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So based off the education and accountability, obviously we have way more education this round than we did the first round, but during the first round, what was that like? Did the education and the accountability of the first round meet your expectations? And then um, if you want to go into how they might be meeting your expectations this round compared to the last round, because the first round was our you know, basically test round, basically. So yeah, any
pilot
feedback there would be
program.
great. Yeah,
Hmm.
pilot,
Yeah,
exactly.
the pilot program where you learn. No, the education I got from that first round was amazing. And it's even more put together this round, but and maybe a little more, or maybe I'm that much farther on the journey that I'm taking in more of that information. But just for me, I've tracked my food before, but I was coming off of a low carb, you know, keto for a while, then low carb, and knowing that saturated fat is good for you, right? So I wasn't keeping track of how much fat I would truly was eating, and that for me was a big education, just from the get go. Like, oh my gosh, just tracking, I was educated, and I can't believe I was eating this much fat. So learning that, but the accountability, just having to check in every week, having to, but getting to check in every week, and the guidance from the coaches and from the forum, and all the people in the training with you having your back and encouraging. um, it's really, helped with that accountability. Um, i I don't think I would have stuck with a lot of the stuff had I not had the accountability. That's a big part.
Great to
Yeah,
hear.
definitely. Because if you want to share, we have some of the, lifestyle and task and stuff. Is that what you're saying that you wouldn't necessarily have like stuck with like the sunlight 3 times per day and those types of
Correct.
things? Yeah.
Correct. Sunlight 3 times a day, doing the little lymphatic routine, weighing yourself. You have one of those bad days or bad weekends, and sometimes you can't get back on. And being in this community has helped me get back on. Like, we're all going to have those days. We're going to have those weekends. But having the encouragement and seeing that this happens to other people, and this is how you handle that. And it's 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 made it easier to keep going and get back on the horse, and.
Yeah, definitely. And then so back to the accountability too. Um, do you find that it was helpful or that it is helpful that we're all kind of going through the process together as one big group versus we're like segmented and one person is in a cut, one person is in a, maintenance period, like all of that? Did you find that helpful as well?
I find it helpful that we're all going through it together, and we're all at different levels. We've got many, many different ages, and um some people are beginner, lifters and using little weights, and some are using big weights. It's a big, wide range of group, but I love that. I love that, even though we are from very different walks of life, we're all here to support each other. And it really helps to see what everybody else is going through.
Yeah, I love it too personally because it's like even though in one area someone might be like a complete beginner, with the lifting side, for example, or the cardio side, or whatever it is, but in another area they might be like, walks ahead of someone else. And so we all kind of bring in our strengths and weaknesses, and then we build, rising tide lifts all boats. We all like lift
Sure.
each other up together and stuff. So Tyler, I'll let you talk now.
No, it's cool. It's cool to hear that. It's nice to be reminded that like it's making kind of a difference in your guys' lives and all of that, and it's cool to hear like about the from a different perspective because Kathleen and I obviously see it in like somewhat of a different light where it's just like we're trying to make everyone have the exact same progress at the same rate. Where you guys are just like, oh, it's cool to see all these people like are able to succeed from these different walks of life. Because
Yes.
like it would probably be a lot easier for us if we could just clone 100 of Kelly's. But that doesn't always make for the best experience. So I do have a question. So were there any points, and this happens for a lot of people, where like I don't know if this is gonna work for me, and what was the if so, was there a point where we're like, or what was the factor that led you to be like, all right, actually, I think I was wrong. Like I panicked a little bit for a second.
I think the very beginning, I had spent 2 years not doing anything because I had a hip issue. One doctor tells me it's arthritis and it's real easy. We'll replace your hip. I said, what? um, and then I get an MRI and they say there's nothing wrong with your hip. It's just swollen. So obviously there's something, there's inflammation, there's something going on. And I think it had to do with, the hormones, the perimenopause, just something wasn't right. But I had the woe is me attitude. I can't do anything. My hip is messed up. And so I sat on the couch for almost 2 years, which is unlike me, but I was, I would say depressed, because I couldn't
Yeah.
move the way I wanted to move. So when I first started and started the exercise portion of it, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. But I modified almost everything that had to do with lower body. I got help from you guys to do those modifications, and I just, I just kept going through it. And it worked. And now I am working out 2 to 3 times a week. I'm doing the zone two. I mean, it's incredible how things have changed.
It's amazing. Yeah. When it comes to, first of all, I cannot stand when people like nocebo someone with a diagnosis because it's like, this might be what the imaging shows, but it's like we can always work around something. So I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you for like just sticking with it. And we always tell people that like, okay, maybe you can't do like a full lunge or like a full squat or something like that, but like go to the range of motion you currently own and take a set where you work on like very, very, very slowly increasing that range of motion, and then take another set where it's like we work on getting stronger in the range of motion that we own. And we find that over time that that really helps improve chronic pain, like mobility issues, just getting stronger, hypertrophy, all of that stuff. So I love that. And
Yes.
back to what you said at the beginning, we always feel like no matter where we kind of put people into transform, that it's always like, like a helmet fire, like what's going on? There, it's like
Yeah.
throwing someone in the deep end. But I think the like really positive thing is like everyone feels like they're being thrown in the deep end, and then you just kind of like sort it out as like the time, as time goes on, as we get used to it and stuff. And I love that we have so much time at the beginning of the program, the like restore phase, so that you do have time to focus. And like with the restore phase this time, the first month we like focus on calories and then macros, and then now we're in micros. And so it's a little bit more stepwise versus like I have to have everything right, right out of the gate and stuff. So I love that. Did you find the kind of progression to be a little bit more helpful this round? I mean, obviously you were already doing the things, but did you find the
Right.
progression helpful?
No, I did. I did. Because I was able to focus more on those areas. So step by step, I was able to focus on, okay, let's get this dialed in, let's get this right, and then we can step to the next area.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, were there any parts of Transform that like really surprised you as you were going through it?
or challenged your beliefs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the fat. I mean,
Yeah.
even talking to my sister, she said, "Why is this such a low fat program?" And I said, "It's not. We just had our macros all wrong." And I would lay out like it's still, up to that 20% of fat. That is not low fat. But
Right.
I was eating such high fats, and my sister was with me. Um, that it just seemed like a low fat, program, but
Yeah.
it is not. It's getting those macros right. That was challenging. That was a challenging view, and that took a lot to learn. I still like some of the other people in Transform. They'll post what they're eating, and I'm like, how is she eating 4 eggs a day?
Yeah.
How does that
I
fit
know.
in? But then you look at what else she has, in her whole day, and you're like, oh, that's how she fits it in. So there's ways. I mean, everybody's eating differently, but it's you're able to fit it into what your macros are. So that was a little challenging. It wasn't what I was used to, but I'm here to tell you that it works.
Mhm.
It really works.
I'm glad to hear that. Did you find it helpful that, we slowly lowered your fat over time versus kinda just, like, crashing you? I mean, obviously, during the cut, we kinda just, like, crashed well, because 'cause we're crashing everything, right?
Right.
But do you find that during the first phase of, like, slowly lowering fat over time to be helpful?
Yes, definitely. Otherwise, I don't think I would have felt very good.
Yeah,
So,
and I think, like, the really positive thing about, kind of getting some of the fat grams down is and getting the carbohydrate grams up, is that now we're getting more micronutrients and stuff, and the focus on the vitamins and minerals. Have you found, kind of focusing more on getting vitamins and minerals from food to be helpful versus potentially relying on a supplement or anything like that?
yes, definitely. My view on all of that has changed. I have weaned myself off of quite a few supplements that I have realized that weren't even helping me anyway. Um, and having fun discovering how I can get those things through food. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a fun challenge.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one that most people are not paying attention to at all, right?
Yeah.
It's just calories, and I don't wanna get fat from eating, not to mention,
Right.
like, actually properly fueling their body. One question I had is, I was listening to Chris Williamson, I think this is actually a James Clear thing, he talks about how he had asked the Chinese Olympic weightlifting coach, what's the difference between, like, the highest level Olympic weightlifters and like the elite ones, like the ones who make it to the best, go on the Olympic stage. Maybe said the ones that make it to the upper echelon are the ones that are able to continue doing the boring things without getting bored.
Mhm.
So, what's next for you? You've kind of dialed all of the transform stuff in. Like, what are you looking forward to in terms of body composition or making changes outside maybe of transform, or even just like, hey, I now have my hip mobility back. I kind of want to go back and play in the tennis. I know you're doing some renovations on the house.
Oh yeah. Lots of renovations.
Yeah.
A lot of big life things happening during this transform program too. So I think that speaks volumes that I was able to keep up with doing it while going through these big life changes. Um, so yeah, future me now likes to go to the gym. I never thought I would say that. And not necessarily I like to go to the gym, but I like the results. I love the results. I love I'm not seeing a lot of difference in the scale right now because we're in maintenance, but I'm seeing a lot of difference in the body recomposition, the clothes fitting better. When people start noticing and saying things, my son lives in a different state, and I just saw him again. He said, "Mom, are you still going to the gym because your shoulders?" My God. So things like that from your kids, it's
Yeah.
it's it's wonderful. So I want to be healthy. Last year we live um we have 14 acres, and it's not level. So I'm just to walk to the mailbox, I'm walking up two curved uphill driveways down the street to the mailbox. Um, and last year here on our property, our cabin, we're real close to a really nice lake, and we have a pontoon boat. And I could not get off the pontoon boat unless we had it pulled in. I went down the back ladder, and I was not comfortable holding my 1-year-old grandson in my arms standing in the lake. I was afraid I would slip and I wouldn't be able to catch him with my hip. So this year, we're on the pontoon boat. I'm squatting down, jumping off the front of it, and I'm the one in the water with him. Kiki, Kiki, come swim with me. And it's been wonderful. It's such like just that difference is great.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love hearing that. That's it's always my favorite when we see people post for like Flex Friday and stuff that they can do something that they like haven't been able to do for years, and it's like bringing yourself back to almost childhood in a way, and just
Mhm.
like having fun in your body with your body. All like it's just so great. Um,
Yes.
so do you want to share a little bit, or would you like to share a little bit about the actual cut process, how that was for you? Because a lot of people, they're obviously joining Transform because they want to do the cuts. Not necessarily realizing that we spend a solid 3 to basically 4 months before the cuts, building up maintenance calories, dialing in all of these things, and then we go into a targeted, pretty aggressive 6 week cut. But if you want to share anything about how the cut went for you, that would be great.
I just want to add one thing.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think we've talked about a lot recently how we kind of view health as like an absence of disease, and you wouldn't typically like I don't think anyone would have considered you diseased 2 years ago. Oh, but like you weren't able, like looking back, you're not able to do the things that you would have wanted to be able to do. Like you would play
Right.
with your grandson, and it's in. I think we often, especially in today's society, we neglect like the physical characteristics of health, of like being able to do the things you want to do, whether it's run a marathon if that's what you want to do, or just
Mhm.
hold your grandson in the lake. And it's just so awesome to hear that you have
Yeah.
regained that portion of health. Like that's have chills. That was awesome to hear. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. It's made a big difference. Um, the cut, this whole program was much different than anything I've done before. Because usually you decide, oh, I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to do a whole 30. That's worked before, or a, a diet of some kind. Um, so the building up to it, the doing the maintenance, building up the calories, um, preparing and learning why we're doing this and how we're doing it made a very big difference for me. Um, like building up my calories before the cut. I just it was crazy the amount of food I was eating, and it was wonderful. I wasn't gaining. Actually, I was one of the lucky ones because I had been sitting on the couch for 2 years. That while I was building up my maintenance calories, I was losing a little bit of weight. So coming into the cut, it was like I went from where I built up those calories back to where I was when I started. So it wasn't that big a deal. It really wasn't that big a deal. The movement, the more movement we added was a little rigorous. It was a little tough. It was a lot of movement in the beginning, at least, but it was so doable because it was only 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you get that mindset and you prepare for it, and then it's very doable. And I had great success with the program.
Nice. And how has been the reverse out of the cut, and then obviously now in round 2 being back at maintenance, have you been able to find, I basically you already said that you're maintaining your weights and doing recomposition and stuff, but
Yes.
how have you found that process? Because most people, they go from, I'm in a diet, I'm in a cut, and then I just go right back to what I was doing, and then I gain all the weight back, plus more and stuff. So how have you
Right.
found that like change to be?
It's been great because again, in the past, I've done the thing and then gone back the way I was, and then the pounds creep back on, and um, pretty much you're trashing your metabolism even worse. So again, the education, knowing why we're doing this, coming back out of the cut and starting to build again, it was a little tough because you want to get back there faster, and but knowing the educational piece of it and knowing that this is the way you do it so you're not gaining the weight back is it made it very doable. Um, yeah, some tough weeks there in the beginning, but very doable. And I'm enjoying. I'm still the recomp is still happening. You
Yeah.
know, so it's wonderful.
The
Yeah,
nice
that's
part
the
is you
one.
can pretty
Oh,
much recomp forever too.
Yeah.
yeah. That's one thing I really like about the setup of the cut is that it like starts off hardest, and then like it's hard as it's going on because the fact that it's just going on, but then, like, there are parts of it that do get, quote, unquote, "easier," and so it's this balance, on the mental side of things. Um, I think my last question, unless, Tyler, you have any other questions?
Nope.
No. I think my last question is, who do you see this program being for? Like, if you saw, like, if you had a friend or a sister or, anyone, who would you say, like, "Yeah, I see this program really for you, and this is the reason why."
Well, I'm gonna go to my age cohort, those in the later parts of perimenopause, dealing with the hormones and weight gain. This has been a game changer for me. Um, I feel so much stronger. I don't have the ups and downs in the the mental brain fog, the so many things I think hormonally have changed. But I'm also going to look at like my daughter who's struggling at 28 with bloating and digestive problems and problems with hormones as well. I've seen this program make a difference when with ladies of all ages. So I for me, I would love to my cohort, my age women, I think it's perfect for. But I think it's really great for anyone.
Awesome. I know I kind of asked you this already, but are there any goals you're setting now that you are looking forward to, and like that have changed since the start of Transform?
Yes. Now that I can move more, I want to learn how to play pickleball.
Let's go.
That's so awesome.
Yes. Yes, my sister and her husband have joined a league, and I just haven't been able to do it. And now I think I'm getting to the point where yes, I can do it. So yes, pickleball is my new jam gonna be, I think.
That's
That's
awesome.
so great.
Yeah.
I it's amazing seeing, like, the professional pickleball players and how they just, like, oh my goodness, it's so crazy. But that is so
Yeah.
awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Have you, I know you said about the lake and stuff, but have you been on any hikes or anything else, recently that you're like, "Oh, yeah, I was, like, so proud of that. Like, I didn't think I could be able to, I could do that and stuff."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've been traveling
Yeah.
more. My husband retired last year and I retired in July.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Both retired very early because we planned it that way. Um, so yeah, we've been traveling more, and I can't believe the number of steps I can do in a day, and just walking cities and all of that. We leave in 2 weeks for Italy for my son's wedding, so I'm looking forward to the cobblestone streets and the up and down, and I feel much more confident now that I can do this.
That's awesome.
It's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Kelly, thank you so much for hopping on. It's been a pleasure having you in the program, and it's awesome hearing all of this as well. So we really appreciate it, and look forward to continuing to work with you as hopefully we get you into the coaching side of things.
Yes. Well, I want to say thank you to both of you because it's really changed my life.
Thank you, Kelly. All of you all have changed our lives too, and I definitely mean that with, like, all respect and honesty. So thank you, thank you for being here, and thank you for showing up today.